I am the real daughter who was found, and the system wants me to start a fight. My biological mother holds the fake daughter tightly. Although you are our biological child, Yao Yao has been with us for 18 years. We can't live without her. The system roars. Quick, flip the table. Call them out for being biased. I nod. That's perfectly normal. 18 years of emotional bonds versus 18 years of blood ties. If it were me, I'd choose the emotional bonds too, after all. Blood ties are just a biological probability, while emotional bonds are the sunk cost. My biological mother was stunned. My fiancé threw a check in my face. Take the money and get lost. I don't love country bumpkins. The system screamed. Quick, tear up the check. Say, don't bully the young and poor. I carefully put away the check. This is perfectly normal. Forced melons aren't sweet, and this melon even gave me a breakup fee. Truly the epitome of industry integrity. My fiancé was dumbfounded. The system crashed. Host, please, just go a little crazy. The plot can't move forward. Me, I'm perfectly normal. It's you all who are overacting. In the living room of the Shen family villa, the air conditioning was turned up high, but I could still smell a strong whiff of green tea. My biological mother, Mrs. Shen, is now tightly embracing the fake heiress, Shen Yao, who has occupied my life for the past 18 years. Shen Yao is crying as if her heart is breaking. Her shoulders trembling as though she might collapse at any moment. Mrs. Shen pats her back while looking at me with an extremely complicated expression. Qingrua, even though you are the biological one, Yao Yao has been with us for 18 years. This bond cannot be severed so easily. We can't do without her. I hope you can understand your mother's difficulties. Mr. Shen, standing nearby, also sighed. His hands clasped behind his back, remaining silent, clearly acquiescing to this stance. Suddenly, the system in her mind exploded. Host, can you stand for this? Quick, rush over and give this pair of scoundrels, no, this pair of muddle-headed parents a piece of your mind. Flip the coffee table. Tell them blood is thicker than water. You are the one and only true heiress. The system is giving me a headache. I raised my hand to rub my temples and, under the nervous gaze of the three members of the Shen family, nodded. I understand. I really do. Shen Yao's crying stopped abruptly. Her tear-drenched eyelashes trembling slightly, clearly not expecting this reaction from me. Mrs. Shen was also stunned. You don't blame Mom. I found a single sofa and sat down, relaxed in posture, as if discussing an unimportant project with a client. This is perfectly normal. 18 years of emotion versus 18 years of blood ties. If it were me, I'd choose emotion too. After all, blood ties are just a biological probability, while emotion is a tangible sunk cost. I pointed at Shen Yao's high-end dress, then at my own cheap clothes from a street stall. You've invested 18 years of money, time, and effort into her, just like raising a top-tier account. Now, suddenly, you want to switch to a new account and start over. Anyone would find it hard to let go. It's the principle of economics. I understand. The living room fell into a dead silence. Mrs. Shen's expression looked as if she had swallowed a fly. She wanted to explain something but was left speechless by my logic. The system screamed frantically in my mind. Host, what on earth are you saying? You're supposed to compete for favor. You're supposed to put them in their place. I ignored the system and instead looked at Shen Yao, speaking sincerely. Keep crying. Don't mind me. I'm just a newly hired intern, still getting familiar with the company. Oh no, the family environment. Shen Yao was clearly a professional-level high-end player. After a brief moment of surprise, she immediately adjusted her tactics. She broke free from Mrs. Shen's embrace, walked up to me with reddened eyes, and timidly extended her hand. Sister, I'm sorry, it's all my fault for taking your place. If you're unhappy, I can move out. If this were the original plot, now would be the time for me to slap her or hurl insults, only to be scolded by our parents. The system started roaring again. The opportunity is here. Call her a green tea bitch. Tell her to get lost. Looking at Shen Yao's meticulously manicured hands, I didn't shake them. Instead, I took a pack of wet wipes from my bag and handed it to her. Don't say that. The property deed is under Mr. Shen and Mrs. Shen's names. Legally speaking, we are all just guests living here. I paused for a moment, then continued in a tone as if discussing an academic issue. Besides, where would you go if you moved out? You don't own any property. You lack the ability to live independently. Renting a place would leave you vulnerable to being scammed by agents, and staying in a hotel is too expensive. As a rational person, staying here is the choice that maximizes your interests. if I were you, I'd stay put too. Shen Yao's hand, which had been extended mid-air, froze. She had prepared a whole set of lines to retreat in order to advance, but all of them were choked back by my straightforward honesty. Her act of sacrificing everything for love turned into a realistic, staying put for survival. In my eyes, Father Shen finally couldn't bear to listen any longer and frowned, saying, "Qingrua, how can you speak like that? Yao Yao is your sister. What do you mean by staying put? This is her home too." I immediately nodded, obedient as an excellent employee following the boss's orders. "All right, Mr. Shen, I understand. Miss Shen Yao has permanent residency. May I ask, where is my workstation?" "I mean, my room." My distant address of Mr. Shen seemed to sting Father Shen, and his expression turned somewhat unpleasant. "Let the butler show you to the guest room." The butler was a middle-aged man in his 50s, and his gaze held a hint of disdain as he looked at me. Clearly, in this household, the direction of the wind is quite evident. He led me to a room at the far end of the second floor. "Miss, the rooms in the house are limited. Miss Yao Yao has a lot of belongings and occupies 2 rooms, so we can only ask you to make do with this one for now." This room faces away from the sun, with a small window, only a bed and a wardrobe, not even a proper desk. In contrast, when passing by Shen Yao's room, I saw the walk-in closet, large balcony, and a full set of pink furniture inside. The system buzzed angrily. "This is too much. Is this a maid's room? Host, go smash Shen Yao's room. Take it back." I looked around and nodded in satisfaction. "Not bad. Poor lighting is good for sleeping. The small space saves on electricity, and being far from the staircase makes it quiet." The sarcastic remarks the butler had prepared fell flat, like punches thrown at cotton. He looked at me in disbelief. "Miss, you aren't angry?" I set down my luggage bag and took out my laptop from inside. "Why would I be angry? I'm a newcomer, just arrived at the company, just arrived home. I have no achievements, no seniority. Having a private office is already quite good. Did I really expect to walk straight into the CEO's office?" I looked at the butler with sincere eyes. "By the way, what's the Wi-Fi password at home? Is the internet speed fast? I still have to work overtime tonight." The butler opened his mouth, but in the end, he only managed to blurt out a string of numbers before slinking away. I closed the door, and the system was still relentlessly nagging me. "Are you stupid? They were humiliating you." I turned on my computer, connected to the Wi-Fi, and checked the stock market. "System, you're too emotional. Can humiliation make me lose a piece of flesh? No, but if I break something out of anger, I'll have to pay for it. Right now, I only have $200 to my name, and I can't afford to pay." During dinner, the atmosphere at the table was so eerie it was hard to digest. To show her motherly love, Mrs. Shen kept putting food on Shen Yao's plate and peeling shrimp for her. "Yao Yao, you've lost weight recently. Eat more of this." Shen Yao gave me a provocative glance and said in a sweet, delicate voice, "Thank you, Mom, you're the best to me." Shen's father also occasionally added soup to Shen Yao's bowl. The family of 3 was enjoying themselves happily. As if I were a stranger who had just joined their table. "System, flip the table, quick." Splashed the soup in Shen Yao's face. I lowered my head and quickly ate my meal, maintaining a refined and polite manner despite the speed. Years of being a corporate drone have honed my ability to finish a meal in 5 minutes. After all, lunch breaks are precious. Mrs. Shen seemed to finally have a pang of conscience and placed a piece of spare ribs into my bowl. "Qingrua, you should eat too. Don't just focus on the rice." That piece of spare ribs was coated with bell peppers, which Shen Yao dislikes. I looked at the pork rib but didn't touch it. Shen Yao immediately spoke up. "Sister, do you dislike the food Mom served you?" "Sister, you probably didn't get to eat such good pork ribs in the countryside, right?" I put down my chopsticks and wiped my mouth with a napkin. "It's not that I dislike it, I'm just full." I stood up and gave a slight bow to Mr. and Mrs. Shen. "Thank you for the hospitality. The meal was very much to my taste. If there are no other instructions, I'll head back to my room to handle some work." Mr. Shen was taken aback for a moment. "Work? You just got back. Won't you stay and chat with us?" I glanced at the wall clock. "It's 7:30 p.m. now, which is personal time. Besides, I can see you're having a great conversation, and I don't want to disrupt the atmosphere by joining in. As a new employee, as a newcomer, I should know my place." I finished speaking, turned around, and left, leaving 3 bewildered faces behind me. I faintly heard Mrs. Shen complain, "Why is this child so robotic, with no human warmth at all?" the corner of my mouth lifted slightly. Human warmth, that's something only humans possess. In your eyes, I am merely an intruder with a blood connection. Talking about human warmth is too extravagant. It's easier to discuss rules. Early the next morning, the Shen family villa welcomed an unexpected guest, Gu Beichen, Shen Yao's fiancé, who was originally supposed to be my fiancé. The man certainly looks the part, dressed in a custom-made suit with his hair meticulously styled. It's just that his eyes are too blind. As soon as he entered the door, he saw me, who was just about to leave for work, actually heading to the library to enjoy the air conditioning and save on electricity bills. Without a word, Gu Beichen pulled a check from his pocket and tossed it lightly at me. The check fluttered to the ground. 5 million, take the money and get lost. I don't like country bumpkins. Gu Beichen looked down from above, his tone arrogant and domineering. Shen Yao stood at the top of the stairs, covering her mouth as she snickered. The system was so excited that its voice cracked. Tear up the check, hurry, throw it in his face. Tell him not to bully the poor in their youth. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west. I bent down and picked up the check, carefully examined the numbers, signatures, and seals above, confirming they are genuine. Then, I took out a small notebook and a pen that I always carry in my bag. Mr. Gu, please wait a moment. I quickly wrote a few lines, tore the page out, and handed it to Gu Beichen. Gu Beichen instinctively took it, glanced at it, and his entire body froze. What is this? Receipt. I smiled professionally and standardly. Since you've paid the breakup fee, to avoid any future financial disputes, the process still needs to be followed. It clearly states that I have received 5 million RMB from Mr. Gu Beichen, voluntarily give up the engagement, and consider the matter settled with no refunds or exchanges. Gu Beichen looked at me as if I were a monster. You just accepted it like that. Otherwise, I carefully tucked the check into the book. This is perfectly normal. Forced melons aren't sweet. And this melon even came with a 5 million breakup fee. Truly the epitome of industry integrity, Mr. Gu. You are such a generous client. I even thoughtfully added, would you like me to write a thank you letter and send it to your company, or should I clarify on my social media that I'm not good enough for you? Gu Beichen's face instantly flushed a deep, purplish red. All the humiliating words he had prepared were completely blocked by my receipt. With these 5 million, my back instantly straightened a lot, but I didn't squander it as the system had hoped. Instead, I turned around and bought a few promising stocks. When I returned home in the evening, the atmosphere in the Shen family was even more tense than yesterday. Mr. and Mrs. Shen were sitting on the sofa, while Shen Yao was wiping away tears beside them. Seeing me return, Father Shen slammed the table. Shen Qingrua, have you no shame? You actually took Beichen's money. Shen Yao sobbed. Sister, did you come back just for the money? If you're short on funds, I can give you my allowance. Why did you have to insult Beichen's feelings for me? System, fight back. Call them hypocrites. I changed into slippers, walked to the center of the living room, and took out a silk banner from my bag. I had it specially made this afternoon, with a red background and golden characters. It bore 8 large words. Thank you for fulfilling my filial duties, wishing you a happy union for 100 years. I solemnly handed the silk banner to Shen Yao. Sister, I can take this money with a clear conscience. Think about it. This engagement was originally mine, and now it's yours. Consider this 5 million as the transfer fee for me handing over my fiancé to you. Nowadays, even taking over a shop requires a transfer fee, let alone a high-quality asset like young Master Gu. Shen Yao stared at the brocade banner, unsure whether to accept it or not, her face turning green with anger. Father Shen trembled with rage. You treat marriage as a transaction. Marriage is essentially an economic contract, I said with a serious expression, since young Master Gu is willing to pay for true love, and I, as the one facilitating this beautiful union, if I don't accept the money, wouldn't it make his true love seem cheap? I looked at Shen Yao, my eyes encouraging. Sister, your love is worth 5 million, you should be happy. Shen Yao burst into tears and ran upstairs. Mrs. Shen pointed at me. You really infuriate me. I blinked innocently. Mom, I'm just protecting my sister's worth, perhaps to make up for Shen Yao's wounded heart. Over the weekend, Mrs. Shen decided to take us shopping at the mall. On the surface, it was to buy clothes for me, but in reality, as soon as we entered the mall, Mrs. Shen took Shen Yao straight to the luxury stores. Yao, this dress suits you. Go try it on. Yao, this bag is the latest model. It looks good on you. I'm like a little follower carrying the bags, trailing behind. System, host, grab the card, max it out, show them who the real child is. I calmly watch Mrs. Shin swipe the card, feeling completely indifferent inside. I even take the initiative to step forward when Shin Yao tries on a light yellow dress. This color is too bright and makes your skin look dark. I suggest switching to that haze blue one. It complements your complexion and accentuates your waistline. Shin Yao looked at me warily. Would you be so kind? I'm doing it for the Shin family's image, I said earnestly. You represent the face of the Shin family. If you dress poorly, it reflects badly on the family. As a member of the Shin family, I have a duty to uphold the family's brand image. Shin Yao, half convinced and half doubting, changed into the haze blue dress. Sure enough, the effect was surprisingly good. Even the salesperson praised. This young lady has excellent taste. Seeing Shin Yao's beautiful appearance, Mrs. Shen, who originally intended to neglect me, now felt a bit guilty. She picked up a t-shirt from the discount section and handed it to me. Qingrua, go try this on. It's an out-of-season piece of clothing. Even a bit pilled. System, throw it on the ground. Step on it twice. I took the clothes and looked at the tag. No need to try it on. This one has a high cotton content, absorbs sweat and breathes well. Perfect for working at home. Thanks, Mom, I really like it. Not only was I not angry, but I also sincerely expressed my gratitude. Madam Shen's hand froze in midair, her expression turning incredibly vivid. Guilt is like a spring. The more you resist, the more the other person feels you deserve it, the more sensible you are. The more they feel like they're in the wrong. At this moment, Madam Shen clearly felt she was in the wrong. Back home, Shin Yao was clearly unwilling to let me steal the spotlight today. Though I didn't think it was much of a spotlight, she deliberately broke a pearl necklace in the living room, one that Mrs. Shen loved the most. Pearls scattered all over the floor. Then she let out a scream. Sister, how could you push me? I was at least 2 meters away from her, drinking water. Mrs. Shen and Mr. Shen rushed over upon hearing the noise, only to see the mess on the floor and Shin Yao crying. Shin Yao pointed at me. Sister said she was jealous that Mom bought things for me, so she pushed me and even broke the necklace. Such a low-level frame-up is simply an insult to my intelligence. Father Shin glared at me. Qingrua, you've let me down so much. System, explain. Hurry up and explain. Say you have an alibi. I put down the water glass and sighed. Then I took out my phone and dialed 110. Hello, is this the police station? I'd like to report a case. There's a dispute involving intentional property damage here, and the amount involved is significant. Please send someone to handle it. The whole family was stunned. Shen Yao forgot to cry. You called the police. I nodded. When in trouble, call the police. That's a basic civic duty. Arguing in private is inefficient and can easily lead to conflicting stories. Let the police officers collect evidence, check fingerprints, and review surveillance footage. Then it'll be clear who did it. Shen's father rushed over, trying to snatch my phone. Are you crazy? Family scandals shouldn't be aired in public. I nimbly dodged him. Dad, this isn't a family scandal. It's about the spirit of the law. If I did it, I'm willing to go to jail. But if my sister accidentally dropped it, then this is a false accusation. False accusations also carry legal consequences. Shen Yao's face instantly turned pale. She just wanted me to get scolded, not end up in jail. The police arrived quickly. Seeing the commotion in the villa, the 2 police officers were also a bit bewildered. Who called the police? I raised my hand. I did. I pointed at the pearls on the floor. This Miss Shen Yao has accused me of pushing her and damaging valuable items, but I maintain that I am innocent. Please have the police collect fingerprints from the necklace and review the surveillance footage from the living room. Shen's father's face turned ashen as he forced a smile at the police officer. It's all a misunderstanding, just kids fooling around. The police officer looked sternly at Shen's father. Filing a false police report is illegal. What exactly is going on here? Shen Yao trembled with fear. Hiding behind Mrs. Shen and not daring to speak, I calmly said. Since it's a misunderstanding, does that mean Miss Shen Yao admits she was lying? Shen Yao bit her lip, staring at me intently, and finally had no choice but to nod. It was me who accidentally fell. I misunderstood. I thought it was my sister who pushed me. The police gave the Shen parents a stern lecture, urging them to strengthen their family education and not waste police resources. After seeing the police off, Mr. Shen collapsed onto the sofa, looking as if he had aged 10 years. He pointed at me, his finger trembling. You unfilial daughter, are you determined to tear this family apart? I innocently spread my hands. Dad, I'm helping Yao Yao. if her habit of lying isn't corrected in time, she'll suffer greatly in society later on. I'm doing this for her own good. Only magic can defeat magic. Only logic can defeat emotion. Watching the three members of the Shin family with expressions as if they had eaten something disgusting. I felt an unprecedented sense of clarity and refreshment. After the police incident, the three members of the Shin family developed a strange sense of fear toward me. They no longer easily caused trouble for me and even seemed to avoid me a bit. But this doesn't mean they've given up. Shen Yao's birthday party is about to take place. This is a major event for the Shin family. And we will be inviting all the city's elite. Mrs. Shin called me into the study and handed me a set of formal attire. Qingrua, this banquet is very important. For now, we won't publicly reveal your identity. We'll just say you're a distant cousin. You don't mind, do you? This was to avoid me embarrassing them and to spare Xinyao any awkwardness. System, refuse. You must loudly announce at the banquet that you are the true heiress. Smash their faces in. I took the dress, a very ordinary black gown, suitable for standing in a corner as a background prop. No objections, absolutely none. I agreed quickly. Being a distant relative is great. No need to socialize, no need to toast, and I can focus on the buffet. By the way, is the lobster limited that day? Mrs. Shen was once again defeated by my train of thought. The pile of comforting words she had prepared were all stuck in her throat. You only care about eating. Food is the first necessity of the people, I said with confidence, and as a distant relative, my KPI is to eat well, drink well, and not cause any trouble for the host. On the day of the banquet, the Shin family villa was brightly lit. Shen Yao, dressed in a custom-made haute couture gown, accepted everyone's praise like a princess. Gu Beichen stood by her side, the two of them looking like a perfect match. I, wearing that black dress, hid by the corner buffet table. Intently peeling an Australian lobster, the system was exasperated. Host, look at how glorious they are, and you're just here eating. Where's your dignity? Can dignity put food on the table? This lobster costs several hundred each. I dipped it in some sauce, stuffed it into my mouth, and squinted with satisfaction. Just then, a sarcastic voice rang out. Well, isn't this the country bumpkin who took the money? What? Have you already spent the 5 million and come here to mooch a meal? Gu Beichen, holding a wine glass, walked over with a few rich second-generation airs, his face full of mockery. I wiped my hands and looked up at him. Good evening, young Master Gu. I haven't finished spending the 5 million yet, and the investment returns are doing quite well. Thank you for your concern. Gu Beichen choked for a moment, then sneered. I heard you came today as a distant relative. What? Too afraid to acknowledge your own parents? The people around burst into laughter. I nodded. Yes, after all, the Shin family's standards are high. As someone from the countryside, I should know my place. But young Master Gu, I heard Gu Corporation's stock price recently dropped by 2 points. You still have the mood to drink here. Your mindset is truly admirable. Gu Beichen's expression changed. What do you know about stocks? Shut up. I may not understand stocks, but I know how to read the news. I pointed at my phone screen. Just now, a notification popped up saying that the logistics company under Gu Corporation is suspected of illegal operations and has been placed under investigation. Aren't you going to answer your phone? Gu Beichen's phone rang right on cue. He glanced at the caller ID, his face instantly turning pale. Without bothering to mock me, he hurriedly ran to the side to answer the phone. The rich kids around exchanged glances, their eyes now holding a bit more awe when they looked at me. Has this girl's mouth been blessed? Shen Yao had been keeping an eye on the commotion over here. Seeing Gu Beichen angered away by me, she walked over holding 2 glasses of red wine. Sister, don't blame Beichen either. He's just straightforward and speaks his mind. She handed me a glass of wine, her eyes flickering. I knew it. The classic plot was about to unfold, splashing the wine, then framing me for pushing her, or pouring the wine on me to make me look foolish. System, splash her. Strike first. I took the wine glass but didn't drink from it, instead casually placing it on the nearby table. I don't drink. Alcohol dulls the nerves and affects my judgment. Shen Yao gritted her teeth, suddenly slipped, and lunged toward me, the red wine in her hand about to splash all over me. I swiftly sidestepped with a nimble movement. Slap. Shen Yao fell heavily to the ground, spilling red wine all over herself, instantly ruining that expensive custom-made gown. The entire room fell silent. All eyes turned toward the scene. Shen Yao lay on the floor, stunned for a moment, then burst into loud sobs. Sister, why did you push me? I know you're jealous of me, but today is my birthday." The pointing and whispering of the crowd surged like a tide. "Who is this woman? How malicious. I heard she's a poor relative." So full of jealousy, Mr. and Mrs. Shen hurried over, and upon seeing this scene, Mr. Shen wasted no time. He raised his hand to strike me. "You wretched thing." My hand firmly caught Mr. Shen's wrist. "Although I'm not particularly strong, I have practiced the technique of using an opponent's force against them. Mr. Shen, before taking action, I suggest you look at the evidence first." I pulled a miniature GoPro out of my handbag to document tonight's culinary experience. I had the recording mode on the entire time. The scene just now should have been captured quite clearly. It was Miss Shen Yao who tripped over her own left foot with her right foot, and she was at least 10 centimeters away from me. I shook the camera in my hand. "Would you like me to connect to the big screen now and replay the highlights for everyone?" Shen Yao's sobs choked off once more. She trembled on the ground, unsure if it was from the cold or from fear. Shen's father's hand froze mid-air, unable to decide whether to withdraw it or strike. I smiled as I looked around. Everyone. Although I'm a distant relative, I still have rights to my portrait and reputation. "Who just called me malicious? Would you like to have a chat with my lawyer?" No one dared to speak. This was no country bumpkin. This was practically a legal department director with a built-in surveillance system. The birthday party ended on a sour note. Shen Yao became the laughingstock of the entire city. Not only did she take a humiliating fall, but she also tried to frame someone, only to be exposed on the spot. The atmosphere in the Shen family villa was at its lowest point. Late at night, my door was knocked on. Mrs. Shen walked in, her eyes red and swollen, clearly having just cried. She sat by my bedside, looking at me as I read a book, her voice hoarse. "Qingrua, do you hate us?" I closed the book, Nonviolent Communication, and looked at her calmly. "Mom, hatred is a strong emotion that requires immense energy. I don't hate you. I only have an objective understanding based on our blood relationship." Mrs. Shen clutched her chest, seemingly even more distressed. "You child, why do you always speak so coldly? I'm your mother. Can't you be more like Yao Yao, acting spoiled with me or even throwing a tantrum?" I sighed. "Mom, Shen Yao acts spoiled with you because she needs to secure resources and a sense of security that way. As for me, I'm used to being self-sufficient. If you want me to act spoiled, that counts as extra emotional labor. You'll have to pay extra." Mrs. Shen was stunned, tears hanging on her face, looking both comical and pitiful. Pay extra. Just kidding." I handed her a tissue. "What I mean is, everyone expresses their feelings differently. Someone as rational as me might not fit into your emotionally rich family atmosphere. So, for everyone's sake, once I've saved enough money, I'll move out." "Move out?" Mrs. Shen panicked. "You're the eldest daughter of the Shen family. Where would you go? To a place where I don't have to act, scheme, or play mind games. A place where I can live well just by working hard." At that moment, I saw genuine panic in Mrs. Shen's eyes. She finally realized that she might truly lose this biological daughter of hers, not because of hatred, but because of indifference. Just as the Shen parents were falling into self-doubt. The beloved treasure, guardian of the Shen family returned. Shen Yi, the eldest son of the Shen family, a notorious sister-obsessed maniac. As soon as he returned and heard about the injustice Shen Yao had suffered, he immediately rushed to my room. "Shen Qingrua, you scheming woman, how dare you bully Yao Yao?" Shen Yi was tall and handsome, but at that moment, his face was twisted with rage, like a mad dog guarding its food. He flipped over my desk in one swift motion. "System, hit him. Use the pepper spray." I calmly looked at the mess on the floor, took out my phone, and snapped a photo. IKEA desk. Original price $12.99. Depreciation brings it to $800. The laptop is broken. Estimated repair cost is $2,000. Emotional distress compensation will be calculated separately. Young Master Shen, WeChat or Alipay. Shen Yi laughed in anger. "Are you obsessed with money? Do you think I lack this little cash? Let me tell you, in this family, only Yao Yao is my sister. If you know what's good for you, get lost now, or I'll make sure you can't survive in City A." I nodded and pressed the stop button on my phone's recording function. "All right, threats and intimidation. Evidence has been collected. Young Master Shen, according to the criminal law, threatening others with severe circumstances can result in detention for 5 to 10 days. Do you want to settle this privately, or handle it officially?" Shen Yi was taken aback for a moment, then grew even more furious, rushing forward to snatch the phone. "You dare to record?" I nimbly slipped under the bed, This was my pre-planned safe haven. The space beneath the bed was narrow, and someone as bulky as him simply couldn't squeeze in. From under the bed, I shouted, "Help, murder! The Shin family's eldest son is trying to kill his own sister." The sound was piercing and carried far. The servants rushed upstairs, and Mr. and Mrs. Shin were also startled by the commotion. Seeing Shin Yi lying on the ground trying to catch me, like a cat chasing a mouse, the scene was quite comical for a moment. Father Shin roared, "Shin Yi, what are you doing?" I poked my head out from under the bed, my hair a mess, but my eyes were clear and sharp. "Dad, Big Brother said he's going to make it impossible for me to survive in City A. I'm thinking, I haven't done anything that harms the heavens or violates morality. So why am I being blacklisted? Could it be that the Shin family in City A can already dominate everything and ignore the law?" With such a heavy accusation thrown at him, Mr. Shin's face turned ashen. The Shin family was in the process of applying for a public listing, and they feared negative public opinion the most. Shin Yi was slapped hard by his father. "Get back to your room and reflect on what you've done." Shin Yi covered his face, looking at me in disbelief. I flashed him a V sign. "Want to mess with me? I'm a modern-day corporate drone who's thoroughly studied labor law and criminal law." Shin Yi was grounded, but he clearly wasn't convinced. A few days later, when no one was home, he tricked me into going to the underground garage, then locked the door and cut off the power. The garage was pitch black, cold, and damp. He laughed arrogantly outside the door. "Shin Qingrua, reflect on yourself in there. I'll let you out when you beg for mercy." System, host, cry quickly, bang on the door. "It's too dark in here." I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight. Beg for mercy? Why should I beg for mercy? It was quiet and cool here, with no crying from Shin Yao or nagging from Mrs. Shen. It was practically the perfect work environment. I found a discarded cardboard box to use as a cushion on the floor, sat down, turned on my phone's hotspot, and connected it to my laptop. Fortunately, I have a habit of carrying my laptop with me. In the past few hours, I handled a few freelance translation jobs and reviewed the recent stock market trends. The efficiency was remarkably high. 5 hours later, Father Shin returned, noticed I was missing, and forced Shin Yi to open the garage door. As soon as the door opened, light flooded in. Shin Yi expected to see me in tears, on the verge of a mental breakdown. Instead, he found me grinning like a proud auntie at my computer screen. It's up again. This short-term trade is absolutely brilliant." I closed my laptop, stretched lazily, and looked at the stunned crowd at the door. "Oh, everyone's here. Perfect timing. I'm hungry. What's for dinner?" Shin Yi pointed at me as if he'd seen a ghost. You're not afraid of the dark." "Afraid of the dark?" I stood up, dusting off my pants. I used to work overnight shifts all the time and experienced several power outages at the company. What's a little darkness? As long as there's electricity and internet, I can survive. Mrs. Shin rushed over and hugged me, crying uncontrollably. "Qingrua, you scared me to death. Are you okay?" I gently pushed her away and shook my phone. "It's nothing, just that the signal here isn't very good, which slightly affected my internet speed. Next time you lock me up, could you choose a place with better signal?" Shin Yi was completely broken. He thought I wasn't human, but a monster without any sense of fear. After all this turmoil, the mental state of the Shin family has been deteriorating day by day. Overwhelmed by guilt and anxiety, Mrs. Shin finally fell ill and was admitted to the hospital. Shin Yao wept inconsolably by the bedside, unable to even take a sip of water. Mr. Shen and Shin Yi both wore worried expressions, scrambling about in a state of panic. I arrived at the hospital and first pulled Shin Yao aside. "Stop crying. You're disturbing the patient's rest." Then I skillfully found the attending doctor, inquired about the condition, reviewed the test results, arranged for a caregiver, handled the hospitalization procedures, and even chatted with the head nurse for a few words, asking her to take extra care. Everything was orderly, as if I were advancing a project. When Mrs. Shin woke up, she saw me peeling an apple. The peel was thin and continuous, forming a long strip without breaking. "Qingrua," I handed her the sliced apple pieces. "The doctor said you have excessive heart fire, along with menopausal syndrome, and need to rest quietly. I've already paid the hospital fees using Mr. Shin's card. A caregiver has also been arranged, a top-tier one, costing 800 a day." Mrs. Shin looked at me, tears welling up in her eyes again. "Qingrua, you're still the most filial." Beside her, Shen Yao was so jealous her eyes turned red. "Sister is just good at putting on a show. She didn't shed a single tear when mom was sick." I wiped the fruit knife clean. Can tears cure illness? If they could, I'd cry an entire ocean, but medically speaking, tears do nothing to kill viruses or bacteria. They only hydrate and provide emotional release. What we need now is rational decision-making and efficient execution. Father Shen looked at me, his expression complicated. For the first time, he realized that this daughter he had overlooked was actually the most reliable one in the family. It's just that this kind of reliability is so cold that it chills his heart. My taking care of Mrs. Shen in the hospital was witnessed by Gu Beichen. He came to visit, mainly to see Shen Yao, but saw me in the hallway discussing foreign treatment plans with the doctor in fluent English. At that moment, the radiance of a professional woman emanating from me seemed to blind his dog eyes. Gu Beichen stopped me. Shen Qingrua, I never expected you to have this side. I glanced at him. Young Master Gu, what can I do for you? If you're thinking of getting that 5 million back, there's no way. Gu Beichen's face darkened. Who cares about that little money? I mean, maybe we can start over. He suddenly felt that, compared to Shen Yao, who only knew how to cry and whine, a shrewd and capable woman like me had more appeal and was more suitable to be the young mistress of the Gu family. System, wow, the scumbag has had a change of heart. Host, quickly put him in his place. Tell him he's not worthy of you. I take a step back, my face full of disgust. Master Gu, this constitutes a breach of contract. We have already terminated our engagement, and the transaction is settled. Now you want to backtrack. That's called commercial fraud. Besides, I have no interest in recycling trash, even if it's gold-plated trash. Gu Beichen, furious and humiliated, snaps, Shen Qingrua, don't you dare disrespect me when I'm giving you face. Face is earned by oneself, not given by others. I walked past him and strode away. Behind me, Shen Yao happened to come out and saw this scene, watching Gu Beichen's gaze fixed on my retreating figure. The jealousy in her eyes almost seemed to blaze with fire. Excellent, the dog-eat-dog drama is about to begin. As my position in the Shen family grew increasingly stable, by leaving them speechless with my retorts, the system began to malfunction. It realized that the original, tragic romance, plot was completely unworkable. Not only did the antagonists fail to torment me, but each of them ended up so infuriated by me that they suffered from hormonal imbalances. System, host, please, go a little crazy. The plot deviation has already reached 90%. If this continues, the world will restart. I was browsing real estate listings. I had saved enough for a down payment and was ready to buy a small apartment of my own. System, don't you get it yet? The underlying logic of this world isn't melodrama. It's that the economic base determines the superstructure. As long as I have money and ability, I decide how the plot unfolds. The system crackled twice and suddenly fell silent. After a while, it switched to a mechanical voice. Host's logic detected as self-consistent. System is upgrading. Upgrading to money-making system. I smiled. That's more like it. A wise man knows when to adapt. Shen Yao finally couldn't sit still any longer. She noticed that Gu Beichen was growing increasingly distant toward her, while constantly inquiring about my whereabouts instead. So, she played her trump card. She was pregnant, of course. It's fake. With a fake ultrasound report in hand, she caused a scene at the Shen family home, forcing Mr. and Mrs. Shen to make Gu Beichen marry her immediately. Gu Beichen was caught in a dilemma. Although unwilling, he had no choice but to agree under the pressure of public opinion and the Shen family. On the eve of the wedding, Shen Yao ran to my room to show off. Sister, no matter how you try to seduce Beichen, I'm still the one who wins in the end. I'm pregnant with his child, and I'm the only young mistress of the Gu family. I was packing my luggage. My new house had already been renovated. Looking at Shen Yao's smug face, I couldn't help but find it amusing. Congratulations. I wish you two stay together forever. Aren't you jealous? Why would I be jealous of someone who's taking on someone else's leftovers? I pointed at the ultrasound report. This report is well photoshopped, but there's a basic factual error. The size of the gestational sac doesn't match the gestational age. I suggest you find a more professional graphic designer next time you want to fake something. Shen Yao's face turned pale. You're talking nonsense. Whether it's nonsense or not, a trip to the hospital will tell. I picked up my suitcase, but that's none of my business anymore. I'm moving out tomorrow, and I won't be part of your messy drama anymore. On the day I moved out, the whole family came to see me off. Mrs. Shen cried with genuine emotion. Qingrua, do you really have to leave? The house is so big, Mom. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. I hugged her. I'll come back to visit often, with gifts. Like a real guest, Shen's father handed me a card. There's some money in here. Take it for yourself. I didn't refuse and accepted it. Thank you, Dad. I'll consider it as an investment in your retirement fund and report the returns to you regularly. Shen Yi stood awkwardly to the side. Hey, if anyone bullies you in the future, just mention my name. No need. Calling the police is faster. I pulled my suitcase and walked out of the Shen family villa's main gate. The sun was bright, and the air was fresh. The system chimed cheerfully in my mind. Ding, 5 million in dividends have been deposited into your account. I glanced back at that magnificent yet oppressive villa. Goodbye, the melodramatic saga of the true and false heiresses. From now on, I am Su Qingxing, a happy wealthy woman with millions in assets, emotional stability, and impeccable logic. As for Shen Yao and Gu Beichen, I heard that on the wedding day, Gu Beichen discovered Shen Yao's fake pregnancy and called off the marriage on the spot. The Shen and Gu families turned against each other, and their stock prices plummeted. However, that's another story altogether. After all, I've already blocked them all. That's perfectly normal. Ineffective socializing is better spent making money. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. I had planned to go to university with my boyfriend, but he disappeared. Just as she was growing anxious, a row of bullet comments appeared before her eyes. The male lead has already gone to school with his childhood sweetheart, and the female lead is still waiting here like a fool. The female lead deserves it for not attending the male lead's birthday party. Her mother has been sick for so many years. Was it really necessary to take care of her on his birthday? Female lead, hurry up and make another call. 30 calls are a test for you. The next time, the male lead will definitely answer, and he'll even fly over to pick you up. I ignored the barrage of comments and turned to leave the airport. I'll go to the school myself. Who needs him to pick me up? There are no tickets available for flights, high-speed trains, sleeper seats, or hard seats. Then I'll buy a ticket to the school. Song Hao has gone missing once again, but the situation is different this time. This time, I can see the bullet comments. They say that Song Hao has already left. He left early by plane with his childhood sweetheart, Lin Shiyue. The purpose was to get back at me, because I didn't attend his birthday party. I took out my phone, half believing and half doubting. In an instant, the barrage exploded. Wow, wow, wow. The female lead is about to call the male lead. Male lead, pick up the phone. LOL. The male lead is practically tapping his phone to death, just waiting for the female lead's call. The male lead has even started rehearsing his bubble voice over and over. He's definitely going to charm the female lead to death. Ha ha ha, it's completely useless. After hearing the female lead's voice, how could the male lead keep pretending? After much hesitation, I didn't dial the number. He hadn't answered any of the dozens of calls before. I sent a message to Song Hao. Baby, are you with Lin Shiyue? Have you already gone to school? My hand trembled as I clicked send. I really hoped the barrage was lying to me, but Song Hao's status immediately changed to typing. In less than 10 seconds, a message popped up from the other side. Yeah, already at school. Ayu said she wanted to come to school early to look around, so we came ahead. Didn't tell you because we wanted you to stay home a few more days and spend time with your mom. I stared at the chat history, my fingertips swiping across the screen again and again. I couldn't seem to understand what Song Hao was saying, until my eyes slowly reddened. But then my phone vibrated again. Song Hao, of course, that's not the only reason. Have you ever considered that it might be your fault? I was stunned. I instinctively wanted to say, I'm sorry, no matter whose fault it was. I was always the first to lower my head, but I felt so wronged. Is it my fault for not attending the birthday party? Shouldn't I be by my mother's side during her surgery? Besides, I already informed Song Hao in advance. A few words churned in my mind, typed and deleted repeatedly in the chat box. Is it my problem? In the end, I didn't send it. I scrolled through my phone. The dozens of calls I made earlier were all hung up by Song Hao. Over 100 messages of, where are you? What happened? Don't scare me, and call me back, went unanswered. Song Hao always made me completely give in before he would let me go. Suddenly, I felt utterly bored. I lowered my head and saw the tightly clenched cookie bag. Song Hao had told me before that flying is great in every way. It's just that the in-flight meals are really mediocre, so I got up early to bake cookies, wanting to give him a surprise. But I never expected that he would give me a surprise instead. I stuffed all the cookies into my mouth at once. The cookies were too dry, and I choked until tears streamed down my face. I'm so tired. I sat on the steps, thinking for a long time. Finally, I wiped away my tears and shook my head. I opened the ticket booking app. The flight tickets were gone. The high-speed train tickets were gone. Even the hard sleeper and hard seat tickets were sold out. I steeled my heart and clicked on the option that read, "No seat, 5 left, 30-hour journey." A dozen seconds later, the ticket purchase was successful. I turned and left the airport. Song Hao and I were high school classmates. We had already developed a secret affection for each other during high school. After the college entrance exam, he confessed his feelings to me, and I naturally agreed. After we got together, I realized he was particularly sensitive, extremely controlling. I have to report to him what I do every day, tell him who I'm meeting when I go out, and provide him with a list of people when I attend gatherings. If there are boys, he orders me not to go, even if it's just among classmates, even if he knows them. Once, a close friend invited me to hang out. My aunt and cousin happened to be visiting my house, so I brought my cousin along. Upon learning this, Song Hao immediately rushed over. Without a word, he took me away and gave my cousin a good scolding. No matter how I tried to explain it to him, he wouldn't listen. Because of this, I had a big fight with him and stopped talking to him. The next day, he got drunk, held me, and cried. He said his mother had run off with someone else, so he was afraid I wouldn't want him either. Until this moment, he was only expressing his own hardships, not apologizing to me. In his heart, he never felt he had done anything wrong, but I still forgave Song Hao out of soft-heartedness. Last month was Song Hao's birthday. I had carefully prepared a gift, but I really couldn't attend the birthday dinner. Mom has a chronic illness and needs to be hospitalized for a period of time each year for recuperation. This year, because of the college entrance exams, Mom stubbornly delayed going to the hospital, and as a result, her condition worsened. The doctor informed her that she needed surgery and required someone to stay with her overnight. Unfortunately, the surgery was scheduled on Song Hao's birthday. I apologized to Song Hao in advance. Although he was unhappy, he accepted it. But on Song Hao's birthday, the situation was completely different. My mother's condition was stable after the surgery, so I ran to see Song Hao, holding a cake and gifts. I waited at his doorstep until midnight. Song Hao didn't show up. In fact, I couldn't even get in touch with him. He disappeared for a whole week. Later, I found out that after the dinner gathering, he went on a trip with Lin Shiyue. Song Hao simply responded with a faint tone. "I forgot to contact you, but I don't blame you." Later on, Song Hao, Lin Shiyue, and I were all admitted to the same university. He exclaimed excitedly, "Xian, let's take a plane to school. I've never been on a plane before, and I'm a bit scared." A glint of light flashed in Song Hao's eyes. "It's okay, I'll hold your hand tightly, and you can lean into my arms. That way, you won't be scared. I'll be with you for all your first experiences." I was deeply moved by his words, so I took out the money I had saved from my summer job and asked him to help me buy the plane tickets. I looked forward to that day with great anticipation. What awaited me was only revenge. The barrage of comments extinguished my illusions, yet it also cleared my mind. Song Hao was always caught in a cycle of suppression and indifference. Time and again, he made me admit my mistakes, repeatedly confirming my love for him. Perhaps in his heart, my mother's health is indeed less important than his birthday. After all, he never had the concept of a mother since childhood. How ironic. Song Hao's own mother ran off with someone else. Does that mean he thinks other people's mothers are unimportant too? Thinking of this, a sense of inexplicable powerlessness welled up in my heart. So this is what they call pure love. So this is what he calls loving me. In that case, this love is too heavy, too twisted. I, Xian, cannot bear it. The oppressed heroine under this trash author's pen. I quit. Strange. Why is the female lead at the train station, and why is she about to enter? The male lead is practically staring a hole through his phone. Female lead, what are you doing? Just make the call and apologize. It's that simple. What the female lead is holding looks like a train ticket, and it's a standing ticket. Female lead, you're being foolish. Wouldn't it be better to wait for the male lead to pick you up and fly together? Why go out of your way to suffer when you don't have to? The female lead doesn't enjoy her sweet romance, insisting on suffering in this smelly, old-fashioned green train, seeking hardship where there is none, enjoying romance. Joke. If Song Hao hadn't kept the plane ticket from me, would I have to endure this hardship? Clearly, it's his fault. yet the barrage expects me to accommodate him. Why? I resolutely boarded the train. 30 hours were truly hard to endure. Bored out of my mind, I passed the time by reading the bullet comments. Help, shouldn't I be watching the scene of the two kissing and getting intimate at 10,000 meters in the air? What are you doing, female lead? I'm done. I'm so annoyed with this female lead. Something that could have been resolved with just a phone call, yet she had to make such a scene and put herself in an awkward position. Let's see how you face the male lead at school. The male lead is also at fault, right? He'd rather ask classmates, friends, or the female lead's best friend. Why can't he just take the initiative and call the female lead? To the person above, the female lead has been the one to back down and give in every single time. Would it really hurt to do it one more time? Besides, the male lead's tough exterior but soft heart is what makes the story interesting, so that's how it is. I've compromised and given in too many times, to the point where even the comments think I should back down and apologize to Song Hao. But I wasn't wrong. I didn't want to waste my energy explaining over and over again that I wasn't wrong, and in the end, I still had to bow my head to Song Hao. I spent the whole journey in a daze. When I got off the car, my back and waist were aching terribly, but today is the last day for registration. I had no choice but to force myself to head to the school. By the time I reached the school's welcome point, I was already completely exhausted. Registration requires a mobile phone. The phone is out of battery, so the information cannot be confirmed. A senior at the welcome point charged my phone from me. Seeing me swaying unsteadily, he couldn't help but say, "Classmate, why don't you rest here for a while?" I waved my hand in refusal, but my heavy head involuntarily slumped onto the table. When I woke up again, before my eyes appeared Song Hao's angry face, and Lin Shiyue's face, full of gloating. My gaze fell on Lin Shiyue's arm, which was linked with Song Hao's. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. Although I was mentally prepared to face Song Hao, seeing the two of them so intimate still left me at a loss. Noticing this, Lin Shiyue tightened her hold on his arm. Xian, why did you only just come to register? Both Hao and I were very worried about you, so much so that we didn't even feel like going out to have fun. She then looked toward the senior student who was welcoming new students not far away. Just now, when we came over, we saw that senior student showing you a lot of concern and care. I heard he's the campus heartthrob of our college. He's so low-key, yet he's already become close with the seniors. Lin Shiyue was always like this. She considered herself Song Hao's sworn little sister, seemingly showing great concern for me, yet every word cuts deep. But this time, I am not prepared to hold back. I took a deep breath. None of your damn business. Go talk to them yourself if you want to get to know them. Song Hao, who had been silent all along, slammed his hand on the table in anger. IU is just concerned about you. What kind of attitude is that? Xian. IU and I have been waiting for your call to pick you up for school. Why didn't you call? I hadn't even opened my mouth to retort when Lin Shiyue gently advised. Aha, don't make things difficult for Xian. I'm fine. Instead, you should show some concern for her first. Song Hao playfully tapped Lin Shiyue's nose. You're still too kind. What will you do when you encounter bad people in the future without me to protect you? The two of them continued to be affectionate for a while longer. Song Hao then turned to me and started asking questions one after another. How did you get to school? Why are you sleeping here? Who is that senior? How do you know him? What are you doing? Male lead. You've been worried about the female lead for 2 days. Can't you say something gentle? The childhood sweetheart is being so dramatic, and the male lead is still playing along with her. Aren't they afraid of going too far? Making the female lead jealous isn't the way to do it. Watching this is giving me a heart attack. Female lead, please don't mess up again. Just give in, I'm begging you. My heart was being torn apart inch by inch. Song Hao's words felt like they were going to execute me by 1,000 cuts. But, I can't back down. But I have no problem clapping back. I stubbornly shot back. How did you get to school? Why are you holding hands with Lin Shiyue? Am I really your girlfriend or not? Song Hao shook off Lin Shiyue's hand, his face ashen. I'm asking you, I replied coldly. Is there a rule that I must reply? Can't I ask you? I opened my phone and shoved it in front of Song Hao. I've called you dozens of times and sent you hundreds of messages, but you haven't answered a single call or replied to a single one. You took my plane ticket and asked me how I got to school. Do you really have no idea? I said I would be heartless, so why are tears still welling up in my eyes? Song Hao irritably grabbed his hair. He was pulled by Lin Shiyue tugging at his sleeve. Forget it. Ah how, it's not worth arguing over me. For her, I couldn't help but laugh. Yet, Song Hao was exactly the type to fall for this. He regained his confidence. Just arrived at school and you're already causing a scene, trying to break up with me. Huh, want to date a senior, is that it? I'll grant your wish, let's break up. Song Hao glared fiercely at the senior. Here we go again. He was always using the threat of a breakup, because he was convinced that I couldn't leave him, that I couldn't let him go. But this time, I endured the heartache. Fine, then let's break up. Song Hao's pupils suddenly trembled. Did you agree? I felt a bit helpless. You've brought it up so many times. We've been together for 3 months. And I've heard you talk about breaking up at least 10 times. I'm tired. I don't want to play house with you anymore. Song Hao's face flushed red. But you never agreed before. Why did you agree this time? I had long since run out of energy and didn't want to say another word. I ignored the two of them, thinking of finishing the registration quickly and leaving this place. But Song Hao held on to me tightly, refusing to let me go. His eyes were bloodshot as he stared at me, demanding an explanation. Fortunately, a senior came over to help me out of the situation. He pointed to Lin Shuyue beside him. Classmate, instead of leaving with your girlfriend, you're here bullying a junior, Song Hao said in a displeased tone. Shen Xian is my girlfriend, mind your own business. The senior pretended not to know. Oh, so you're two-timing, you were walking arm in arm with that girl just now, and now you're harassing your junior. Song Hao was furious and threw a punch at the senior. My heart tightened. Be careful, senior. Song Hao had practiced taekwondo since childhood, and even his coach praised his talent. But the senior just raised his hand lightly. Song Hao's punch was blocked. The senior still maintained his smile, but his tone turned cold. I advise you not to cause trouble. I'm not only in charge of welcoming new students, but I can also manage order, since you're a new student, otherwise it wouldn't just be a disciplinary action. Song Hao gritted his teeth and left with Lin Shuyue. Before leaving, he leaned close to my ear. Xian, let's both take some time to cool off first. His gaze softened as he looked at me. Yet all I felt was a wave of coldness. I steadied myself, along with the emotions I had suppressed for so long. Once the two had walked far enough, I shouted, Song Hao, don't forget to pay back the money, 500, the airfare. Upon hearing this, the two of them walked faster and faster. The surrounding classmates all fixed their gazes on Song Hao until he was far away. The male lead is a bit lacking in character, isn't he? Did he pay back the money first? If someone took my money and didn't pay it back, I wouldn't care if you're my partner or not. Are you stupid? Upstairs. This is clearly the male lead strategy, keeping a backup plan so he's not afraid the female lead won't come looking for him. Well, let's not talk about money for now. I mean, how can the male lead have the nerve to blame the female lead while he's arm in arm with his childhood sweetheart? What's the big deal? The male lead is a bit childish, wanting to use his childhood sweetheart to provoke the female lead. It's perfectly normal. On the other hand, the female lead is too unreasonable. Does she really need the male lead to kneel down for her? The bullet comments were arguing fiercely. I had no mind to dwell on it any further. After checking in, I headed straight to the dormitory. I unpacked my things and went to bed. Whatever major issues there were could wait until I woke up. I slept until daybreak. There were 5 missed calls from Song Hao on my phone, and 1 voice message. Xian, please answer the phone. Okay. Incredulity. In the past, if I missed a call from Song Hao, I would have to explain myself for a long time. Where could you ever see him so humble? Even the bullet comments were speaking up for him. Female lead. Answer the call. The male lead is bringing 100% sincerity. Woo my baby. Rehearsed so many times just to apologize. If the female lead doesn't forgive me, I'm going to have a heart attack. How amusing. Never thought Song Hao would have a day of lowering his head. I called back. There was a long silence on the other end. It took a long time for Song Hao to finally speak. Xian, I transferred 10,000 to you. I opened my wallet. Sure enough, I received 10,000 yuan. I'll keep 1,500 and return the rest of the money the same way it came. Seeing that I didn't respond, Song Hao continued, take the money, apologize to IU, and we'll consider this matter closed. There's a gathering for the hometown association tonight. I'll take you along to meet some new friends. I'll be direct. Impossible. I'll take the money for the plane ticket and return the rest to you. Song Hao's breath hitched. Xian. You vented your anger and received the money. Must you keep making a scene? I replied coldly. It's not me making a scene. You were the one who brought up the breakup, and I agreed. We have nothing to do with each other now. He suddenly became gentle. How will you survive without me? Your mother is sick and needs money. I can give you money. Wouldn't it be nice for you to focus on your studies? Suddenly, I felt like a joke. What do I mean to Song Hao in his eyes? A canary to be toyed with at will. When I missed his birthday party before, my mother's illness was just a burden. He could even hold a grudge for an entire summer, going so far as to use plane tickets to get back at me. Now, to avoid breaking up with me, my mother's illness has become my weakness again. He uses it to control me. I said word by word, I don't need your money. I rely on myself. He was furious. You don't love me anymore, do you? You want to experience more men. No wonder you hooked up with a senior on your first day at school. Shen Xian Xian, you are truly a complete scumbag. Leave me, don't regret it. Song Hao shouted on the other end of the phone. Ayu, let's go eat and have fun. That bitch isn't worthy. Ring. The phone was hung up. I trembled all over. The knuckles turned white from the grip, nails digging into the palm until they drew blood. My stomach churned violently, but I only retched dryly. That evening, I received a screenshot from my best friend, Xian Xian. Why did Song Hao and Lin Shuyue announce their relationship? Did you break up with him? In the photo, Song Hao gently placed a kiss on Lin Shuyue's lips. The caption is simply 9 words. The storm outside is fierce, but it's still you. The comments below are all filled with blessings. Among them, there are quite a few that are sarcastically aimed at me. This is true love. Mr. Song's eyes are finally cured, not worthy before, but a perfect match now. The barrage was also in chaos at this moment. Damn, the male lead is sacrificing way too much just to make the female lead jealous. What sacrifice? He's probably thrilled. He even booked a room. So damn disappointing. The male lead should just drop dead. What's the big deal? The male lead's family is rich, and he can easily afford to support the female lead. She's the one being ungrateful. If I were her, I'd have agreed long ago. Who wouldn't want to just enjoy life? But the male lead is already cheating. He won't let go of the female lead while messing around with others. If I were her, I'd be fed up too. It's better to be independent. Upstairs, let's not bring that independent woman stuff into romance novels. Isn't the domineering CEO's forced love trope just perfect? I shook my head, no longer dwelling on these matters. I had originally hoped to part ways with Song Hao on good terms. Even if we weren't a couple, we could still be friends. I never expected Song Hao to react so strongly. He turned around and got together with Lin Shuyue. The feelings I invested felt like a huge joke, whether it was to deliberately provoke me or if it was premeditated all along. I don't care anymore. Let's just say I spent 3 months figuring out what a scumbag he is. The pent-up frustration in my chest finally eased. I replied to my best friend, well, we broke up. For a period of time after that, I often received some unfamiliar text messages like, I miss you, forgive me, don't ignore me, and so on. Once, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Song Hao. He was drunk, his words slurred. Xian, don't block me, please, don't treat me like this. Woo. I blocked them all. Every time this happens, the barrage of comments would jump out to criticize me. What's the matter with the female lead? The male lead is already like this. Can't you just forgive him? I'm speechless. The male lead's sincerity was wasted on a dog. Did the female lead ever even love him? How could she be so heartless as to block him? But aside from Song Hao's feigned affection, I also received quite a few screenshots from my best friend. They were from Song Hao and Lin Shuyue's social media posts. The two were holding hands, kissing, going on dates, visiting amusement parks, and there were even photos of them checking into a hotel and a picture of a condom. My best friend was furious. I watch this stuff every day. It's going to give me a sty. Song Hao and Lin Shuyue really don't hold back at all, treating their social media like a dating app. But whenever this happens, the barrage of comments goes silent. Are they really blind? Or are they just pretending to be otherwise? Why would they turn a blind eye to Song Hao's despicable behavior while endlessly magnifying his so-called deep affection? It's clearly a romance novel, so why does it only favor men and not women? A month later, my senior invited me to the club recruitment fair. I had been thinking the same thing and readily agreed. There are many work-study positions available at the recruitment fair. If I get hired, it could help ease a lot of the burden on my mom. On the day of the recruitment fair, the senior was busy with something and told me to look around first. Unexpectedly, I ran into the person I least wanted to see, Song Hao. He was walking towards this direction with a few other boys. I quickly turned around, not wanting to be seen, but it was already too late. One of the boys noticed me. Song Xiao, isn't that your girl? Song Hao confirmed it was me and quickly walked over. He was emotional. Xian, you still came, for me. Only then did I realize, 3 days ago. Song Hao contacted me again using an unfamiliar number. Xian, come to the recruitment meeting, I'll show you around. The group immediately started teasing. Brother Song, you're amazing, you went on a date with your childhood sweetheart yesterday, and today you're meeting your girlfriend. Brother Hao, teach me, my family isn't short on money, but I'm not as carefree as you. Exactly, Brother Song is living the life of keeping the home flag steady while flying colorful flags outside. I'm so envious. They were getting more and more out of line, but Song Hao made no effort to stop them. He stood in the middle, staring at me, a hint of smugness flashing in his eyes. He was thoroughly enjoying the feeling of being the center of attention. It was as if he was proving just how much charm he had. I was about to leave when Song Hao called out to me, Xian, don't mind them. They just like to fool around. They're all my buddies. No ill intentions. If you want to join any department, just let me know. I'm familiar with the student council president and can arrange it for you. Song Hao's buddies were even more hyped up when they heard this. Song Xiao really has solid connections. He's only been at school for a few days and already knows the head of the student council. I heard our president not only excels academically but is also skilled in horseback riding, martial arts, and golf. Plus, his family runs an international business. Talented people really do attract each other. I want to join the dance club. I heard there are a lot of girls in black stockings. Song Gu, can you hook me up? Arrange one for me too. I want to earn more credits. A group of people surrounded the two of us. One moment it was, young Master Song. The next it was, sister-in-law. It made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I was about to retort when a playful voice came from behind. The esteemed, young Master Song actually knows me. How come I wasn't aware? I turned toward the voice. It was my senior. He pushed through the crowd and pulled me to his side. The senior's gaze fell on Song Hao. Your impressive display of causing a scene at the welcoming hall is truly unforgettable. My apologies for not recognizing you sooner. The few who had been stirring up trouble immediately fell silent. Song Hao's face flushed a deep, purplish red. He forced himself to wave at me. Xian, come here. I tried to pull my senior away. Song Hao blocked our path, hysterical. Xian, you are not allowed to leave. Is it because you're attracted to his status as the student council president? Apart from that, in what way am I inferior to him? The senior wanted to step forward and take action, but I beat him to it. You're wrong, Song Hao, don't attribute everything to your shallow and childish dating games. It's really tacky. Besides, you're not worthy of being compared to the senior. Song Hao was left speechless. The senior directly issued an order to leave. Classmate Shen has always relied on herself, from beginning to end. She has never asked me for help. Please leave. No one here welcomes you. Song Hao glared at me fiercely. It took a long time before he was finally taken away by his brothers. Oh my god, the senior and the female lead are kind of cute together. Indeed, compared to this, the senior seems so normal. I was brainwashed too much by the outrageous male lead before. Normal people are so much better, not just normal. This senior in front of us has 8-pack abs and a 20. The female lead is so lucky. Is that really true? Bless me to date a male god who is emotionally stable, has a great figure, high looks, and a successful career, if such a good thing happens. I'd be willing to live in a villa and eat lavish meals. My face flushed instantly, and I stole a glance at my senior. He smiled and said, "What's wrong? Why is your face so red? Do you have a fever?" I followed my senior's advice and interviewed for a work-study position at the library. I could earn over 1,000 yuan a month, which was enough to cover my expenses. What annoyed me, however, was that after Song Hao found out about my job, he started coming to the library to confront me every other day, sticking to me like a plaster, impossible to shake off. He doesn't even try to talk to me, he just stands not far away, gazing at me with deep affection, like a husband waiting for his wife to return. Although I can ignore it, but a toad doesn't bite, it just disgusts you. There are always busybodies who stop to watch this strange sight, and there are those who don't understand the situation and advise me, he's so devoted. What huge mistake could be so unforgivable? Classmate, you're just too cold-hearted. I can't even stand to watch. when dealing with these self-righteous do-gooders, I just roll my eyes. Fortunately, it wasn't long before Song Hao never appeared again. According to the bullet comments, it was the senior who helped out, and surprisingly, Lin Shiyue also played a part in it. Ha 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 ha, I'm dying of laughter. After the senior found out that the male lead wouldn't let the female lead go, he directly reported it to the male lead's childhood sweetheart. Now, the childhood sweetheart follows the male lead around every day, never leaving his side for a moment. The male lead finally got his comeuppance, following the female lead around like a sticky plaster every day. I feel so sorry for the female lead. I thought the male lead was just the type to do as he pleases, but he never loses his temper with his childhood friend. What kind of suffering did the female lead go through before? Wow, 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 the senior and the female lead are getting more and more adorable together. Who can resist someone who silently protects the female lead like that? For an entire semester, I didn't see Song Hao again. Just when I thought I would never cross paths with him again, he would pop up in unexpected places. One day during the holiday, a long unseen barrage suddenly appeared. The female lead shouldn't go home, or she'll definitely be infuriated. The male lead, unable to win over the female lead, plans to start with her mother. How shameless. I hurried back home. As soon as I entered the house, I noticed Song Hao. He brought quite a few gifts. He himself sat very properly on the sofa. Seeing me return, he awkwardly scratched his head. Xian, you're back. Mom brought over a fruit platter. Xian. Little Song says he has something to discuss with me. Little Song, have some fruit first and take a break before we talk. It wasn't strange that Mom knew Song Hao. When I first got together with Song Hao, I introduced him to my mom, but we've already broken up. So what is he doing here? What exactly is he up to? I watched him warily. Song Hao, what are you doing here? The two of us now. Song Hao quickly interrupted. Xian, please hear me out first. He then continued, Auntie, you know my relationship with Xian. From now on, you'll be my mother. I heard from Xian that you've been recuperating, so I brought you some nutritional supplements. Additionally, I plan to have you stay at the nursing home my family runs. There will be 24-hour professional care and the best doctors to attend to you. This way, Xian won't have to worry about you all the time, and you can focus on recovering in peace. I forced myself to swallow the words that would have asked them to leave, while studying away from home. My biggest concern was my mother's health. The doctor had told me that my mother's illness required a quiet environment for recovery, but unfortunately, my father passed away early, and our family simply didn't have the means to provide that. My heart wavered. Song Hao, standing beside me, noticed my hesitation. He tightened his grip on my hand. Xian, your mother's illness cannot be delayed. Given the relationship between us, I will definitely take care of you wholeheartedly. He deliberately emphasized the relationship between us, with great weight, clearly intending for me to start over with him. He looked at me and smiled with a slight curl of his lips. It seems he's already convinced I won't refuse him. My mind is in complete chaos. But what reason do I have to refuse? For Mom's sake. What does it matter if I sacrifice myself? Song Hao turned to ask his mother, Auntie, what do you mean? Mother remained silent for a long time before finally speaking. Xiao Hao, what do your parents think? Do they agree or not? Song Hao was clearly flustered. Auntie, let's talk about my parents later. They will definitely agree. Mom smiled as she looked at me. Xian and I need to discuss this. It's not a small matter. You go back first. Before leaving, Song Hao gave me an unwilling glance. I asked my mother in confusion, why not just agree? She pulled me into her embrace. Xian, did you break up with Song Hao? I didn't say yes or no. Mom knows you're worried about my health, but you can't joke about your own future. If Song Hao truly respects you, he should have asked for your opinion first and let you tell me, instead of suddenly showing up at our door. My illness should not be his bargaining chip against you. Otherwise, in this relationship, you will always be at a disadvantage. Mom doesn't want you to end up with the wrong person, and even more so, she doesn't want you to use your own happiness as a bargaining chip. I choked up and asked my mom, then what about your illness? Mom, what should we do? Mom patted my head. It's okay, the doctor said my condition isn't serious. You are the one who truly matters to me. I was so moved that I couldn't stop crying. The barrage is just like me. Woo. The female lead is so good. The female lead's mom is even better. Don't kill me with the family love knife. Am I not reading a romance novel? Why am I crying here? All the lousy men can get lost. I want to see the interaction between the female lead and her mom. When Song Hao contacted me again, I firmly rejected him. Later, I heard, somehow, Lin Shuyue found out about Song Hao's visit to my house. She confronted Song Hao fiercely, and they broke off all ties completely. Because of this incident, the relationship between the Song and Lin families dropped to a freezing point. Song Hao completely lost his arrogance. He muddled through his days at school, relying on his good looks. He changed girlfriends one after another. I occasionally ran into him on campus. He pretended to be busy, looking down at his phone as he brushed past me. As for me, I was genuinely busy. After a semester of freshman year's trials, I had completely adapted to the rhythm of university life. Shuttling between classrooms, the library, and the laboratory every day, I also made many good friends. My efforts were not in vain. National awards and competition prizes came one after another. The journal paper was successfully published. Now, I can not only support myself but also have the means to send money to my mother. I have also started planning to explore the world beyond. Life is still long, and I don't want to confine myself to this small corner of the world. One day during my sophomore year, I finally received the notification for the exchange study program. The news spread quickly. That night, I ran into Song Hao again. He stood alone at the last turn on the way back to the dormitory. The streetlight fell on his face. He was unshaven, his gaze unfocused. There was no trace of his former charm. He noticed me and forced an awkward smile. Xian, I heard you're going abroad. I didn't respond. Song Hao felt a bit awkward, cleared his throat, and continued. We once promised to go to college together, travel together, and see all the wonders of the world. Overseas isn't safe. And I'm worried about you going alone as a girl. I can go with you. I sighed. No need. Please leave. I need to rest. But Song Hao grabbed me. Why did you break your promise? What must I do for you to forgive me? I was amused by him. Wasn't it you who broke the promise first? Where were you when I was at the airport? I used to treat you with all my sincerity. But did you ever truly respond to it? Hearing this, Song Hao became even more upset. Is it really necessary to dwell on such a small matter for so long? I did something wrong, and I apologized. I wanted to make it up to you, but you refused. Isn't it your problem? He spoke with righteous indignation. I feel a bit regretful, thinking I've wasted my breath. Just as I turn to leave, Song Hao suddenly shouts at the sky, I'm the damn protagonist, the male lead. Why doesn't the female lead love me? Why won't she forgive me? Damn it, they're all liars, go to hell. So Song Hao also knew this was a novel, so he could see the bullet comments too. I smiled and continued walking forward. Before boarding the plane, I received an overseas call. It was from my senior. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to me. I never thought we would meet again in a foreign land. May I have the honor of inviting you for a dance, beautiful lady? I replied with a smile, as you wish. The last bullet comment appears, sigh. The novel is so short, it ended so quickly. I still wanted to see more sweet moments between the senior and the female lead. I actually think this is a strong female lead story. The female lead relies on her own excellence and beauty. From then on, the bullet comments vanish without a trace. The story has ended, but the story of my life continues. The scenery ahead will be painted by me. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.